Well, you made it inside. Now what? Suspending my thralls in the air was a clever trick. Might have to use it myself someday. But this changes nothing. One way or the other, the sky will fall. Once it does, all that will matter is who still stands. Sirakali, you have refused death's call for hundreds of years. I offer you the chance to deny it further. Abandon Novara and join me. I know better than anyone the strength you possess. You are a better general, a better commander than I will ever hope to be. Lend me your iron will and your silver fire, and let us conquer death together. The end is near, Sirakali. You and the Bladesinger refuse to admit it. We stand on the knife's edge. The dead god comes to collect the bill overdue. Ruin in the voice would turn the world to mulch. Our blood and bones fertilizing whatever mystery comes next. I shall not kneel meekly before my own butcher. I survived being chosen and being broken. I am the champion of secrets and flame. I am the longing. I am desire made manifest, and what I desire is to live. Do you?
I definitely want to see like some sort of tavern scene or something.
Just a bunch of legionnaires just taking over the joint.
Yeah.
Tell me about this tavern.
Well, we need a name.
It's called Bulls and Crows.
What's it called?
Bulls and Crows.
Bulls and Crows. Spectacular.
Their specialty is watered down beer.
Now, okay, nope. I'm gonna roll with it. Probably cram-packed full of people before the Legion showed up, or was it like they were just opening for the day, and that's when the Legion was like, "Oh, there's actually room at this place. Let's get in there."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet they had to come at a weird hour because of shifts and stuff.
They're out at like trying to do a bar crawl at 2 p.m. in the afternoon or something like that.
Yeah.
This place is like just finishing lunch and was planning on closing until 5 or something like that, and then the Legion just walks in.
Already sent away one of the waitresses, had to like go back and find her.
And then other people see that the Legion is there, and so they start coming in to like buy rounds. And now the entire place is like up and at 'em.
Yeah, people are singing. Somebody's doing like knife tricks. It's getting rowdy.
Yeah, everyone, give me a legionnaire that's here and what they're doing.
I do want someone to be playing darts, but with knives, because who has darts?
Yeah.
There's just like a wall in here, like a wooden wall in here.
That's something maybe Kayo's good at?
I think Kayo still has 0 points in shoot, so probably not.
Okay. I'm just
Can it
teaching
be
Kayo how to
Obik?
do it then.
Yeah.
Obik is doing it. Someone's just like, hey, Kayo, you want to get on in this? And Kayo's just like, no, I'm good over here. And Obik is like, are you still a garbage shot? And Kayo just like glares at him. Kayo's like, why did you say anything? You could have said nothing. God damn it.
All the rookies nearby go, ooh.
What's Obik's
Kayo is being-
pronouns?
See him. Kayo is being mildly roasted
Yep.
by Obik only, because anyone else, Kayo just like glares at them and they're just like, oh, I said nothing. I've never spoken.
Gemma is like hanging out,
Mm.
but isn't saying anything, and is like very slowly just playing a game of five-finger fillet by themselves.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I think Rahel is telling the story of Aisling being a badass while Aisling is like being kind of embarrassed and nonchalant about it.
I think Thar is arm wrestling people.
I would just say that Thar is like holding court.
Holding court.
Oh
like
my God,
practicing,
that's awful.
right?
Mhm. Oh, yes.
Thar has big 28-year-old giving 23-year-olds life advice.
Oof. I think Thar like nods. I understand. This is a very grave grievance.
Yeah.
You must arm wrestle.
Yeah. I've dealt with a situation exactly like this. Let me tell you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my good friend Lance told me one time, me and Lance.
Oh, does he name drop Lance all the time? That's so annoying.
Absolutely.
Oh,
1,000%.
Yeah, he's got to
Name
learn.
drops Lance.
Because now he's learned that Lance is good, and so now he's got to learn that he's got to believe in himself.
Even better. Lance was feeding Thar Azar gossip, and so now Thar is saying to everyone else, like, I heard Commander's going up to the Senate later today. Is probably gonna make sure we get a bonus or something.
Oh, ooh. Let me get can I get a thing in here?
Yeah.
I think that the rumor that Lance gave to Thar that Thar is now spreading is that that he heard that Azar is going to be made commander of the guard of the capital.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
No, I heard it.
Wait, but he's already commander of the... Can you be a commander of two things that... Also, aren't we going to...
I don't want to guard the walls.
Don't they already have a commander?
Are they like trading places? Like what does that mean? Just people like hanging on Thar's every word. What does that mean?
I've never been here before. How am I supposed to guard this place?
Does that mean we're going to be living in that garden forever?
This like on the other side of the bar, like another squad is getting treated to a round, and there's like a local or someone like that is loudly saying like, to the Constant Legion, the saviors of Navarra, hurrah!
Mm-hmm.
And then Bowie does a backflip.
Because that's his only personality trait.
Nabain is in the corner, drinking quietly, just looking out at everybody happy and giving a small smile to himself because he thinks they're done. He thinks they made it.
Similarly, Aoife's not talking, but she's drinking and listening to Rahel tell the story and kind of crushing on her a little bit.
Where's Nikolaj? I'd wondered. We've seen Nikolaj and Nabain like buddy up around books and missions. I've been curious if there's like if that carries over into downtime or whether Nikolaj is like off trying to do something else at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, is Nikolaj trying to find those secret tunnels like in the city
Well,
and go places with them, or is he like, yes, I will also go to the tavern for fun?
I was thinking maybe he went to go meet with the head of the Eyes of Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe with Karla. Like,
Oh fuck.
both, like, they get summoned to the senator who is the head of the Eyes of Smoke.
Yeah. Do you think like with Karla, because Karla's with the other Legion now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, they probably don't have her just like chained up and sitting in a fucking tent all the time. I don't know. Do they?
Go ahead, Gavin.
If Marshall gets whiff of this, he's sending an escort. He's not letting
Sending a what?
He's sending an escort. He's not letting Nikolaj and Karla go visit their old.
That's why they're secret tunnels.
Yeah.
I think this is a surreptitious meeting.
It would be very funny if Nikolaj is like making his way through these tunnels following this map, and then just like him and Karla both come to like the same intersection and just see each other like,
I see. You were also
I see that.
That's pretty good.
It's like, you were? I mean, of course.
What if they both knew where to meet each other without talking because of prophecies?
That's very good.
Sure.
Damn.
Yeah, you don't need to
That's
send a
very
message
good.
ahead. Yeah, they knew all along this is
Yeah.
the plan. That's great.
That's extremely good. Damn.
Let's have
They
this
just, yeah,
scene.
meet at some intersection.
Let's have this scene.
The tavern. I want to go back to Stew.
No, that's too nice. Let's have this backstabbing politics.
Who wants to play Nikolaj here?
Kris, this is like your usual thing, but if you want, I'm happy to take.
Anyone else feel free, because I don't know what he's doing down here.
Oh, I
He
feel
does.
like I know what
I
he's
don't.
doing down here.
Okay,
Good, great.
that sounds like Matthew's Nikolaj. Does anyone want to play Karla?
I'd be down.
Okay. In which case, I will play Senator Sophina. Where do you find her, do you think?
I think the tunnels have to. There's like a secret bookcase scenario, and in her office, it opens up, and we're just on the other side.
Excellent. I like that. Sophina is young and pale and fragile. So she looks a little bit like doll-like, as if she's made of porcelain in a way. Long blonde hair. A very, very direct comparison to the doll from Bloodborne, I think, but also very specifically Lady Maria, who the doll is based on. She is Kai Morty, and I think that her hands have like certain of her fingers end in like eagle talons.
Nice.
It's kind of harpy-esque.
Yeah, a little bit, but like, but is like appears to be 20 or 21 or something like that, and yet is the head of the Eyes of Smoke.
Huh.
And was raised to the position of senator after the ascendancy of the Eyes of Smoke.
I mean, if the prophecy said she was going to be the leader,
exactly,
it's not like anybody's going to question it.
Yeah, and the things that she said have come true and have, to a certain extent, held back the Never as far as they can be held back to this point. The battle of the Omniculum, as we know, didn't go the way that things seemed to go, but the capital is holding out. And she finishes looking up. She finishes reading her report and looks up and gestures to the seats in front of her desk.
Yeah. Without a word, go to sit there.
I wonder if Karla's feeling, because she was directly working with like the fucking broken, but like, was she destined to do that? Would she be embarrassed by that when reporting to the boss?
I don't think so.
I think you have to assume
'cause
that Sophia already knows.
Everybody knows everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Even if it's not
She's just
true.
Sophina is one of those rare augurs who reads more than her own path.
Yeah.
Read everything.
I think you have to assume that she always knows everything
Call
because you
out.
never know what she knows.
Ooh, that's a good energy. Or like she's read all of your prophecies too, so
Right, exactly. You can never be sure. She might not have. She might be bluffing, but
I think she looks at Karla first and says, I understand you've been recently liberated.
Multiple times, it seems like. So the first time was against my will.
Say more about that.
I'm going to assume you already know, but I was tagging along with some of Whisper's forces.
Ah, yes. A liberation of sorts. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. First person I met who seems to be.
Our paths aren't easy, even if they are important. Looks over at Nikolaj. Nor has your path been easy.
Yes, thank you, my lady.
I think we're accustomed to being misunderstood.
Something about shouting the truth and being thought to be crazy until it comes true.
Well, Senator, that is, I am somewhat worried about certain things coming to light and how those may impact all members of the Eyes.
Go on.
The planes, the Consonant Legion, the breaking, there is a way to, with certain facts, certain views of certain parts of that story, one might view the occurrences as engineered by the Eyes of Smoke to aid the Never. I am worried about that possibility.
They're going to think what they're going to think. What can we even do about it?
Well, I'm hoping Lady Sophina might have a different answer. Augur Karla.
I think, from what I've read of what happened at the Omniculum of Zur, the forces of the Never were so otherworldly that even we, the esteemed Eyes of Smoke, were unable to grasp just how devastating their capacity for violence was. But through ingenuity and cooperation and some strategic decision-making, the Consonant Legion has not only held fast in the face of the Never, but returned to the foot of the capital and in fact marched triumphantly through the streets, returning not one but two chosen in our hour of greatest need.
That's all well and good for the Constant Legion. We are the Eyes of Smoke.
Oh, but you're Oathsworn, aren't you?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to antagonize. I just wonder where your loyalties stand at this moment in time.
My loyalties are sitting with me in this room, Karla.
In a world where the Never are besieging the city, I don't think we need to worry too much about factionalism. Nikolaj is with us. I think that your fears and your concerns are well-founded. But on the whole, I think that everyone, the Senate, the Legion, the whole of Zel Sha'el will have a great deal more to be concerned with than what the Eyes of Smoke may think or have engineered. Who out of the Legion lives here?
I had an idea
Mhm.
for something like Lark and Waloot going out, running on rooftops, and ending up in the synagogue.
How does that get initiated? Does Lark just like show up at Waloot's tent or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's like getting dark. Maybe people are coming back from the tavern,
Mm-hmm.
or more people are heading out to the tavern hearing about it, and Lark kind of barges in.
One thing I want to call out, just because I don't think I have, but as the sun gets dim, it gets easier and easier to see those stars that are still frozen mid-fall in the midst of descending towards the sky, towards the land below. Just these shafts of light hanging in the air. Not all the stars, but some of them.
And so, yeah, that's the backdrop as they're running over roofs, climbing into the synagogue.
Hold on. I'm not sure that Waloot, who is now pretty anti-divine, would go to a synagogue.
I don't think Lark explains where they're going. Lark's just like,
Incredible.
let's go.
Yeah, like Waloot just sees Lark like disappear into a building, and then it turns out to be a synagogue.
Okay.
How does Waloot's parkour? Like, I'm perfectly willing to accept Lark could just like ninja run, but how's Waloot at this?
2 in Scout.
2 in
and
Scout's
1 in
not bad.
Scrounge.
And 1 in maneuver.
Could be a scout if she wanted to be.
Sure.
And she's
That's-
tireless.
Yeah.
Probably used to climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just imagining a bit of like little Spider-Man following big Spider-Man, trying to keep up. energy.
Uh-huh.
There's probably like a gap that Lark full jumps and then Waloot like catches the ledge of.
Yeah,
Has
exactly.
to scramble up. And they get there mid-service. It's Friday night.
Tell me about this synagogue. Is this devoted to the Lord of Song?
Yeah. So I grew up Reform. I mostly have been inside Reform synagogues, so I can only like describe them really. It's probably not as big as the temple we saw several episodes ago.
Sure.
When we first met Waloot. This is probably like a single room with benches that are like mismatched, all facing the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
There's a raised platform where there's a rabbi singing a prayer. People are standing. The I don't want to call it a Torah. Like, I'm going to call it a synagogue or a temple or whatever, but I don't want to call like this holy book, this
Sure.
holy scroll thing like a Torah. It's like he's got the big scroll out.
That's what they
And-
call it. The big scroll.
It's probably something like the like first song or like
That's good.
or maybe even like the second song, because the first song is the Lord of Song.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
And is reading the portion for that week.
Ooh, could the scrolls be called staffs? Like music?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
And there's like several different ones. But there's like the second song is like the big one. I think Lark finds a seat in the back. Tries not to get found.
Yeah. She's good at that. Waloot like scoots in quietly next to Lark.
Really confused about what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Looking at Lark like, so what are we doing here? Like, when do we keep moving? And then a couple minutes and realizes like, oh, we're here for this. Oh, okay.
But at that point, she's trapped.
Uh-huh.
You can't leave now. It's
Yep.
part of the service.
Exactly.
Everyone else is standing. Like when the second song is out, you stand. But Lark is sitting in the back row. And I think they reach the end of the portion for that week. Roll it up, put the cover over top of it, but not, putting it back into the ark behind the raised platform just yet. And they go through the next set of songs. They're various tunes, but they're all in minor key. And there's one that's just spoken. Like, no musicality to it. Besides the tonality of the voice. But it's as if they are trying to undo the tonality of the language for this very song. Like, it is not supposed to be sung.
Is there a particular message tonight? Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting to it. This is the mourner's Kaddish. The Kaddish is saying 4 times throughout Shabbos service. And the second to last one, if I remember correctly, is the mourner's Kaddish. And for this one, it is to mourn the dead and to remember the yahrzeit, which is the anniversary of somebody's death. The people who are remembering a specific yahrzeit stay standing for this. Everyone is still standing. And the rabbi starts reading out names. And, you'd think it'd be 3 or 4, but it just keeps going. It's 9, 10, and keeps going for 10 minutes. 100 names, 150 names, 200 names, so many people. It feels like forever.
I think there's like the TV version of this almost has like is intercut with like ever zooming out shots of like the synagogue, that block, that neighborhood, the city, with the never just encircling the whole place.
Yeah, I mean, we don't talk about it a lot, but everybody that's been west of us on our journeys pretty fucked.
Maybe even like shots of the places the Legion has been before, now that the never have trod across it.
The burned remains of that temple.
Dig on.
I think partway through, Waloot just like quietly stands up and just stays standing until the names are done.
Just before the service is over, I think Lark and Waloot are going to try and slip out. I've talked about how I wanted Waloot I wanted Lark to have been born here, and like,
Right.
This is her father doing this.
On the way home, Waloot works up the courage to ask Lark why she brought her, and Lark signs something about like, that was my dad or something like that.
Yeah. I wonder if she says like, that was my dad, because like I've been talking about how the military sign language isn't like a complete language.
Sure.
Yeah. Is there like a stand-in word that she has to use instead of dad?
Yeah,
My
like,
old
that was-
commanding officer.
Yeah,
Or just-
that was my captain.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have a scene. And that's that Azar has been called to the capital. Or has been called to the Senate.
I think Azar asks for. Is this a summons that he was expecting?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is like probably there's been like a a debrief already, and this is like positioned as a follow-up to the debrief to go over some clarifications,
Okay.
something
All
like
right.
that. But
In that
but
case-
Azar can tell that this is going to be something more than just that, but it's positioned that way.
Sure. I think he brings Lark and Kayo as bodyguards.
Interesting. Okay.
So everyone sees Kayo, but Lark is just not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows Lark is around.
Yeah.
He told them all he was going to bring one bodyguard.
I would love it if we could get a Devin character in there as well, because I think this is a good scene.
I
Does
could play
Kael
Kael.
maybe-
Lance.
Yeah, Kael would be interested in going to the Senate.
Yeah.
Sure.
Marshall's busy.
This is part of the Legion's history.
Marshall's
I
talking
just-
to the rich people who aren't senators.
Yes, 100%. Marshall is given a second task as part of the plan.
Yeah. I really like Kael being there as, like, if this is like going over debriefs and stuff like that, like there's a paperwork component that it makes sense for Kael to be there for.
I was just about to say, Azar's like, this is my bodyguard and this is my lawyer.
well, real quick then, I would want to have just a quick discussion of where Kael is on Azar.
Kael understands the structure of power very well. I don't think Kael likes Azar and is happy to be sort of the jester to Azar's kingship in terms of like speaking truth to power. But like, I don't think beyond that like they antagonize him.
I don't think that Azar invited Kael then. I think that what happened was that the Senate summoned them both.
That makes sense.
Azar is making plays now, and Azar cannot have rogue elements in there.
I mean, I don't think Kael seems like a scheming person. I think they feel very genuine and honest in everything they do, but...
Exactly.
100%. Exactly. There's a situation where Azar might have to say a thing, and Kael would go, well, that's not true.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah, Azar probably doesn't want like a lot of record about what's happening here.
Actually, and that makes me realize Kael is invited separately. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they run into each other on like a main thoroughfare, and they're like, "Oh, going to the Capitol? Me too." Or going to the Senate? Me too.
The camera shot is exactly the same as Nikolaj and Karla bumping into each other.
And Karla, but with the surprise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Azar's one eye momentarily widens, and then he's back to placid, stone-faced once more.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I also want to. Can I ask, just for the sake of Kayo being there? I'm guessing Kayo has no idea what's happening. I don't imagine Kayo is in on whatever Azar's plans are. Would he have told them?
I think that before this, because Azar knew this was coming, Kayo was invited to Azar's tent. And I think Azar, in like a really disarming way, just starts talking very matter-of-factly about the fact that he is planning to take over the Senate to Kayo. But the way that he couches it is that the Senate has failed. The Senate has already failed to stop this. And he doesn't literally say the words, I'm going to take over it. What he says is that there needs to be somebody new who's in charge who can keep this city and the rest of Zelsha'el safe. And that he wants you, Kayo, to help keep Zelsha'el safe.
Yeah, okay.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's there is the tiniest shred of that person who someone talked into joining the Legion. Like, this is the best way to keep people safe.
Exactly.
This is especially funny considering the meeting between Sarah Kali and Kayo at the Valley.
Mm-hmm. Azar's read everybody's file. If Sarah Kali had read everybody's file, she would have known who to actually invite to that unionization meeting.
Kayo was there.
I know.
Oh boy.
Tell me about the Senate building. What do we think this looks like?
This was an imperial palace, I think. I think this was the Imperial Palace.
Yeah. This is Draknor's old palace.
Mm-hmm.
It's got big open arches
I was thinking like sort of an ovular building that's attached to the like main manor, and it has like tiers, and it's like supported with like a big sort of column structure on the outside, and the tiers are kind of steep, and different people can like sit on the different like levels, but there's like a hollow inside, kind of like a donut shape, where the like seats on the different tiers are, and there's like a center like floor area, almost like a doctor theater. What are those called?
Like this?
The surgery theater.
kinda
It's
like that.
big
Like a
enough
surgery theater.
for a dragon to just hang out in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Fucking fool that I am. I fucking put Draknor Palace into Google Images and was like, this'll show
Wasn't
me.
that kind of?
This'll show me what it'll look like.
Chris, this
Devin.
picture from Macbeth looks like something that would be on like some sort of liminal spaces Twitter.
That's
Um,
very Macbeth.
Yeah.
My pitch for this is Tuileries Palace, which was Napoleon's palace.
Mhm.
It was burned, of course, down, so it no longer exists. But it has almost exactly that. I posted a painting of it. It has almost exactly that setup that you described, Devin, inside. And the outside is like sort of a mixture between what we would think of as folks who are familiar with like North America, like a Capitol building or like something like that. But like a big rounded top, more like an atrium, and it's long, more like the House of Commons.
I really like this. I want to mix and match it a little bit with Devin's in that the dome can retract and open the entire room up to the sky. I think when you get there, it's open.
Oh,
Have y'all there's I don't know if it's the whole Twitter account or just one post I saw, but it was like an aerial view of a bunch of arenas, like sports stadiums and stuff, with the roofs that retract like that, and
eyes.
it's just like they look like eyes. Yeah.
Huh?
I also think if you're looking
Yeah, don't worry about
up
it.
through the hole, you can see the tower that Draknor fell from. He fell into the Senate
Excellent.
Sure.
Very good.
when Sarah Colley threw him from the top of the tower.
Yeah.
Now you just see the stars coming straight down at you.
Yeah. Yep. Just in the middle of the day, just a bunch of stars. I think you pass Serikali on your way in, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
I don't-
Polite nod.
Yeah, I don't think she stops.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Kael's wearing their really fancy dyed robe that they had at the meeting between the other legion. They're like formal lorekeeper robes.
Mhm.
They're wearing like a flower crown.
This gigantic room is like mostly empty. There's a couple of attendants, but walking towards you, evidently having just finished speaking with Serikali, is the Speaker of the Senate. This is Speaker Weigraf. Speaker Weigraf is like middle-aged, a little round, very cheery looking, but also kind of wiry. My pull for this is Philip Seymour Hoffman, but most especially like really like wild hair Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think Weigraf is Iliander. Each of these like really wiry, long blonde strands of hair ends in little bell lilies, and is like, thank you so much. It's so good to see you. Thank you. Lorekeeper, my
Senator?
goodness, there's no need to get so formal. My goodness, look at that thing. I want an outfit like that. That's spectacular.
You got to read a lot of books to get a robe like this.
I better get cracking. My stack, I keep adding to the stack, and yet I never seem to be able to get through all of them. There's not enough hours in the day, I tell you.
Well, if you want any recommendations, let me know.
I would always, 100%. Thank you so much for coming to speak with me. Let's walk, please. Let's continue on. Get the blood flowing. Absolutely.
How's Kayo doing with all this?
I was very uncomfortable here.
I think Weigraf like shook Kayo's hand without necessarily introducing himself. Just instinctually, like
Like,
here's
yes,
the first
big one.
interaction.
Moving on.
Yeah, Kayo, like just sort of like standing just behind and to the side of Azar, just like, a bodyguard. Yep, sure, great.
Yeah, I think Azar had mentioned that you don't need to necessarily say anything if you don't want to.
I've been going over obviously the extraordinary journey that you've had. I knew that we were sending you off into some extraordinary circumstances, but even then, I'm looking over the things that you've seen and the places you've been, and the hardships that the Legion has had to endure. I'm really just astonished.
The annals have gotten much thicker since we left, I'll say.
100%, 100%. My goodness, it would be good. I would love, perhaps, if there was an opportunity for you to maybe share some of that with the whole city. I think that would be wonderful.
I'd be happy to.
That'd be great. I think that obviously your arrival and the chosen, both chosen, returning to us. I think we're really about to turn the tide in this situation. I think that things are about to start looking up.
Have you spoken with the Blade Singer?
In so much as anyone could speak with the Blade Singer. The Blade Singer is very picky with her words. That one, I think she'll speak more when she has the time. But she seemed to be of a mind to take some folks and start heading in a different direction. Maybe continuing to evade whatever sort of paranormal activity the never seem to be bringing with them. What is your take on that situation?
I think to leave the capital in its time of need, well, a tragedy.
Just so, absolutely, 100%. Actually, that's why I called you here today. I'm very interested to see what you make of the situation here at the capital. What with one Never army already entrenched, despite the really spectacular prestidigitation that you did coming in, but being joined by another, and well, I mean, there's no telling what will happen tomorrow until we get there, despite what our colleagues in the Eyes of Smoke might say.
Hmm.
What would you do in our present circumstances?
Well, I would need to see the records, the forces you have here, resources. I think there are worlds in which you could hope to wait out the Never.
Wait out in what capacity, do you think?
These are powerful beings, but no creature exists that can sustain itself forever.
Starve them out, so to speak.
That is one of the options in front of you.
There's a problem with waiting, though. There is another broken out there that they have raised every civilization in their path, and this might be a hot target.
Yes, the center of civilization. That'd be an appetizing goal.
It's ironic considering Kashavan was the one to tell the Senate to wait out in the first place to starve out the kindling priest.
I think that the capital is the target.
I think you might be onto something. But I worry that time is not on our side. It is cold, and there are a great many of us more now. And we are a great city, but only a city. If we were to endure here, I'm not sure that we would win the waiting game.
You would abandon the capital.
Oh, well, tricky that. This is a very safe place, but if it's to be a tomb, then what does safety matter? No, I think we would be much better served if there was perhaps maybe some guarantee that if we were to continue being here, then we wouldn't have to worry if each day was going to be our last. I've gone over the records, Commander, and I've read about the exploits of the whole of the Legion. I've been ever so impressed with everything that you and everyone within it have done. And looks at Kayo, and I think you're Builder Kayo, are you not?
I think Kael looks mildly surprised that it's like, yeah, he says he's read the records, but to recognize you without being introduced, yes.
This is some like neoliberal thanks for your service kind of bullshit.
Yeah, he's got the cast of Hamilton in the other room.
Nancy Pelosi wearing a traditional
Lost
African
nine.
garb on her knee.
Oh, he's had a kufi on this whole time. Incredible.
Ooh.
Undo.
No.
Backspace.
Does the Wakanda salute though?
Jesus fucking
Christ.
Christ.
Like RBG would have wanted. I hate everything
I
about
just
this.
cringed so
sorry.
hard, like physically.
Sarah Colley forever. Sarah Conda forever. Jesus
my
fucking
God.
Christ.
No.
I'm ending it. I'm ending the
Let's just
campaign.
bomb the Senate right now.
No
That's
more-
the name of the podcast.
You keep trying to get out, and it keeps getting more cursed.
The future refused to change. I'm sorry, you're all dead. Rocks fall, everyone dies.
Moving on, please.
Okay.
Weigraf says, I'm sorry to say, but I've read an awful lot about you. You've served with such distinction. Going all the way back, I believe you helped rescue the very commander from the Omniculum. You fought at the estate at Ramta when we first seemed to have discovered the existence of the grafted. You've done so much. How could I not know about you? And looks at the commander and says, perhaps more than anyone else in Novara, I understand the power of the weapon that you have at your disposal, Commander Azar.
You're referring to the horn.
I'm referring to the Legion.
Hmm.
We assembled the Constant Legion, reigniting the flame of the ancient pact. That expedition did not go as planned, but here you are. You have satisfied the terms of the military engagement under which we hired you and your units. I would like to hire you once again to lead a force to attack and destroy the Never. I can think of no one better suited to do it.
Would
There's
this
not a lot
be-
of precedent for direct action like that in the annals.
And yet, what choice do we have? Run away and they overtake us, or we sit here and wait and freeze to death?
Every time Kael has interrupted Azar, he's just like closed his eyes slowly. Would this be in name and deed the Consonant Legion again?
Absolutely. The Constant Legion is the heroes of Novara. Who better than to win the war?
To lose such a force to defend this capital or a keep further east, it's a surprising proposal. One might almost think you were trying to be rid of us.
Well, you can always say no, but my understanding is that you're mercenaries. And I will pay you, the Senate will pay you, an unspeakable amount of money for this contract. I'm not trying to be rid of you, Commander. I simply want to use you, want to work with you to your greatest advantage.
It has been my honor to lead the Legion, and it would be my honor to continue to lead the Legion. I'll need time. This is a great thing you ask of us. I will not bring my people to their certain deaths.
Excellent. Let's eat. And starts to lead you to a banquet hall.
Great point to break for snacks.
Real fucking whiplash here.
Yes, but the thing about this outfit is it's actually made of 5 different fabrics, all from the different nations of the world.
Come, let's spectacular. Tell me about each one of them.
They both enter the dining room like that, and Azar waits for a moment with Kayo, and he says, "I've always hated that man."
I think Kayo just like exhales, like they have not exhaled for the entire time they've been in here. Finally, just like, gah. He's still very like tense, but like on guard about it.
Is Kayo worried about like what Azar's gonna do? Is that why they're like on edge?
Yeah, because I mean, like, I don't think Kayo gives a shit about the Empire, right? Like, Kayo's just like, I don't want this to be an Empire again. Like, does not give a shit, but then like knows that when Azar says that he's not gonna lead the Legion to their certain deaths, like as much as he can, he means that. So it's like, man, Kayo's not sure what to do here because it's like I for sure don't want to die or send anyone I care about to die about for you taking over the Senate, but isn't really sure where else to go. And so it's just standing here, not breathing.
I think there's definitely guards on either side of us. Azar said that quiet under his breath, but they almost certainly still heard it. Senate guards have to have sharp ears. And he says,
"Where's Lark?"
We'll get to Lark in just a second.
I've got an end scene for Lark.
Mm-hmm. I think that Azar says, "Captain, will be a long night. You are relieved. There is no threat to me, to Kael, or the Legion here."
Has there been at all? I was kind of asking, like, did I need to be here at all? Kind of.
The game being played is a more subtle one than I had thought. The threat now lying over our Legion's head will be picked apart by words, not swords. Go home, rest.
Commander nods and heads out. I think like eyes dart to, well, I don't know where Lark is, so I'll let Gavin go for that. I like the idea of Kayo kind of looking up though, like is Lark like somewhere in the rafters? Like where the fuck is she?
Hiding inside Kael's robe.
I think that Azar then enters, making some excuse for Kayo. Gavin, I was going to have Azar making a later excuse deeper into the dinner for some fresh air and go step outside. Does that fit with what you were thinking?
Yeah, well, I figured Lark was on the roof somewhere, either like beside a window or the epilogue scene I was thinking was y'all having dinner and Lark looking inside and her stomach grumbling.
Oh no.
Lark is perched on the edge of the open roof.
Azar wouldn't do that.
Okay.
No, I think that if nothing else, Azar would have had you like pack a dinner, but maybe Azar just like sneaks you something out. Is there kind of food that Lark likes?
She has food. This is
I know, but like a specialty thing.
This is just the anime trope. What does Lark like?
Is there a specific kind of dessert or something?
Dessert, something high calorie, probably.
Ooh, yeah.
Is there like a gelatin?
Sure.
Like a flan?
Like a mousse?
Yeah.
Just pounding Jello cups up there.
I think that Azar had carried out like a little glass container with a little spoon in it of this, what it was served in, and does like walks outside, stands for a moment, and then like does a big upward stretch with it still in his hand, and when his hands come back down, it's gone.
That's some Looney Tunes ass shit. Very grimdark.
And then I think he turns and leans up against the banister and signs, because he knows the signs. Of course he does. I think he asks, is there anybody else watching the dinner? Did they post any other snipers?
Brendan?
Yes.
2 knocks for yes.
I think Azar signs for do nothing tonight, but study Weigraf closely.
Anything else tonight?
I kind of wanted to have like a scene back at the bar once like the night has wound down a little bit.
Yeah.
Nabain said something earlier, or Matthew said something in Nabain's head that I thought was kind of interesting that I feel like the soldiers might be talking about. And that is like the idea of like, we made it, we're done. Because like, I don't know if everybody shares that belief. But
Yeah.
would Nabain be the sort to like bring that up? Or was he just kind of being like Wallflower sad boy the whole time?
Oh no, he's happy boy.
Okay.
I mean, I think any number of people might say that of like, all right, well, it's been a good tour. Thank you.
I'm gonna head
Thank
out.
you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. Wish I had gotten a point in grit.
That's Bowie. This is Bowie.
Backflips out the front door.
Mhm.
Were you just gonna walk out of the Legion just like that? Thar says. We're family. We've bled together.
Here.
Foreshadowing when we have to do a
Well-
low morale scene where there's a deserter that has to be dealt with. Bowie backflipping out of the Legion.
Backflipping into
Like-
the guillotine.
And you can't leave until we get paid. They still have to issue us our wages for the last.
Bowie front flipping back in. Forgot about getting paid. I'm here. I'm sticking around. I'm going to get that point
Bowie.
of grit.
Bowie. What'll I do with you?
Pay me.
Yeah, I think Aoife's the sad girl, I guess then. I think she's had a lot to drink and she's just like, fuck, we're gonna have to keep doing this, huh?
And everyone, I think Thar and the table sort of get a little quiet because it's like, this is a specialist saying that. Like looking over, like not exactly sure how to respond. Everyone looks at Thar like, you're the big talker, man. Do you use your big words?
I think, Nabain is over here being happy because he thinks it's done. So I think that he says, now, Aoife, we don't know that. For all we know, we're about to become guards of the Senate. Our journey, the work continues, but we can settle down a bit.
I think Gemma says, "You really think the Senate's safe? Think the Capitol will hold?"
These are the largest walls and the greatest fighting force left in Zelshel.
Tyre says, I heard when the Never were like coming down, some of them came down over the walls.
I mean, did y'all hear Kael's story? Sometimes they never just go right through the wall.
I heard the Hexed weren't affected by the gravity thing. So there could have been Hexed among us.
I've heard they got really big ones now. Just smash the walls down.
Oh yeah, I think Gemma's just sort of like shrugging. It's just like, wall's just a wall. It's just rocks smashed together, and you can smash them apart.
It's just the more time we spend together going through all of this trauma, the harder it's going to be when one of us falls.
Well, I don't see why anyone else needs to fall. Let's say you're right. Let's say the Senate isn't the place. Well, all right. We'll keep going east. There are old keeps there. All right, a big grafted breaks the walls of the Senate. There are mountains 10 times the size of a grafted.
Tyre like looks up. I think maybe looks at Nabain and is like, "Hey, do you know if you just die normally, do you come back as a never then?"
I think it depends on the sort of never. Hold on. He brings out the never decks, which we need a real name for.
God, I think it might just be the never decks.
And he just flips through the codex. No, we did name it the codex.
What does the codex look like? Is it just a big book?
Yes, but it is.
Does Nabain have a pocket version?
Is it an illuminated manuscript?
Only because Nabain and Nikolaj have been doodling in the edges.
Yes.
During the let's feel better about our guilt craft time, they did this.
I think that it is a leather-bound book where the pages are not even; they're not evenly cut because they were hand cut. So it has that nice texture to the edges of it. I think it's unmarked, except they've burned the sigil of the Legion into the front of it.
Sick.
And he flips through it and he says, yes, we seem to know of at least some sorts of never that...
like a dozen rookies craning their necks over your shoulder.
Yeah, hold. Just give me some space, please. Some types of never which do appear to take over a body, but that is, he closes the book, to speak nothing of the soul. Your soul is your soul. No one can take that from you.
Nabain, how can I kill a broken?
Not my area of expertise. I believe Suleiman or Nikolaj, perhaps.
The way the book said was to power them until the battery explodes.
Sure, but maybe Nabain is making excuses here.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I think that's what Nabain says.
I just feel like we got to get this done, or we're just going to be running forever. And if it means, protecting all of you, protecting my friends, I think while they were all hanging out and talking, I think Aoife was sitting next to Rahel. I think they were kind of secretly holding hands under the table. And I think Rahel squeezes her hand and then kind of drops it and side eyes her.
Tyre leans over to the book and is like, if gods can choose whenever they feel like choosing, does that mean that there can just be more broken?
No, it doesn't seem to be that way. Otherwise, why break the chosen that we brought with us?
Maybe it's just convenient.
Maybe. But all the broken we've seen thus far are, or were, once our very own chosen. He, voice cracks a little bit. Something stuck in his throat. I see no reason to invent new things to worry about. Yes, you're right. A multi-headed broken could descend from the sky and kill us all. But for now, we are together. It is warm inside. The drink is fine. And we're alive.
Anything else here we want to see in the tavern?
Last thing, I think, at least for Gemma, is that one of the other rookies, hell, maybe Tyre, goes and sits down next to Gemma and is just hey man, you drinking that? I think Gemma's just had a full mug of beer next to him and an empty spot this whole time, and Gemma's just hey, you drinking that? As he is about to sit down.
And Gemma doesn't look at Tyr and says, someone's sitting there.
Tyr has one, right? Is just hand on the back of a chair, or if there's benches, one leg over the bench, just sort of looks at empty spot, looks at Gemma, looks around at anybody else for confirmation. Yeah, I think Tyr is just Tyre is new enough here, And Gemma seems real intense and just like,
Okay.
okay. Yep, just like retreats, like, all right, cool. Have a good one.
All right.
The morning after, or like really, really early, like pre-sunrise, Suleiman shows up at whatever tent like Aoife is sleeping in, and like kind of wakes her up and is like, come with me. I need to show you something. You're good at climbing, right? Come, follow me down this alley. I saw it this way. And I think Suleiman saw like a falling star or something like that land on the top of a building and convinces Aoife to come out super early in the morning to like climb this building. And as the like the sun starts to rise, this like weird meteorite that they found that like crashed into the top of a building during all of the chaos starts to like glow red with this like sunrise energy. He's like, I have some plans for this that you might be interested in.
Stealing a star to craft a wish. I'd say I'm surprised, but I am the champion of secrets and flame. I know better than anyone what people will do to get what they want. The lines they cross, the oaths they break. The cost does not matter. When you have the chance to get what you really, truly want, what wouldn't someone do? Be they a soldier, a senator, a commander, if it would win them a kingdom. OATHSWORN is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson,
Gavin Fregeau,
Kris Allison.
Matthew Guzdial.
and me, Brendan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we've played in the podcast description. Follow us at OATHSWORN Pod on Twitter or OATHSWORN on co-host. Until next time.